Today I'm going on a style journey with the multi-award winning international interior designer, Sophie Paterson. Hello and welcome, Sophie.
Thank you for having me, Amanda.
It's lovely to see you wearing vintage Wakeley.
I know. This is my favourite outfit. I wear it all the time on social media and people always ask me where it's from, and then I have to disappoint them and say it's you, but it's 15, 20 years old.
Disappoint them and tell them it's me.
It's not available. Everyone wants to buy it. But actually, this was a hand-me-down from my mother-in-law.
Really?
She gives me the best hand-me-downs. She used to wear this when she was about 50, and it fits me now at 41. But yeah, it's just timeless. So comfortable. And the fabric, it feels like you're almost wearing a tracksuit.
It's gorgeous.
But the silhouette's so flattering.
And then it's got the silk trims, so you get that lovely touch against your skin.
I love it. Honestly, if you could bring this back out in more colours, this is all I would wear.
That must be about 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
So good on you.
Yeah, I mean, good fashion never dies.
Oh, love that. I love that. Now, many designers, interior designers, are known specifically for a sort of certain type of design or indeed a colour.
Yeah.
And I would just love to know how you would describe your interiors style DNA.
I would say, if we were to summarise it, although I think we're known for this style, but we do different styles as well. We're known for our sort of classic contemporary style, so a real hybrid of some classical interior architecture laid up with some more modern furniture. That said, you know, we've done projects where the client came to me, they said that they only want to have antiques, they want really strong colours. And we have done that, but people don't sort of recognise that as our kind of style. So it's nice to have variety, but I would say we're classic contemporary.
I mean, looking at your website and your Instagram grid, it's all beautiful neutrals. And I just wonder how that must feel when someone says to you, okay, antiques, colour. Does that must take you slightly out of your comfort zone at all? Or is that a really exciting challenge?
I would say it's changed. When I first started my company 17, 18 years ago, if someone said that to me, I just don't think I would have known where to start. I think now, you know, we've got so much experience under our belt, it's actually a really nice opportunity to do something different, because so many of our clients come to us, they've seen our work on Instagram or Pinterest, they bring a whole sort of portfolio of our work, and they're like, we love this from this project, this from this project, can you just merge it all together? And that's not interesting as a designer. That's not what I want to do. It's not fair to my previous clients. So when someone comes to me and says, I want to do something completely different, you know, it's really exciting for me and my team.
Have you ever had a brief that you've gone, oh my God, no thanks?
Yeah, and as you say that, like, I can think of one that really stands out in my head, and I just don't know if I can talk about it, but I won't say any names. I won't even say the country.
No, of course not.
But we got flown out to a country, and I Google everyone that contacts me first, because obviously I'm a woman and I've got a team of 15, but, you know, I don't have security, and you're quite vulnerable as a woman going to people's homes that you don't know. So I try and find out as much as I can beforehand. So we'd done our research on this person, and I'd shared with my husband. He was a little bit unsure, and we went there, and it was just the most bizarre house ever. You know, there was an art gallery, a 3-story art gallery. It looked like a car park in the middle of this property. They had a basement with like a huge car collection. They had a fish tank that had to have professional divers come in every 2 weeks to clean it. They had a famous graffiti artist, I can't remember who it was, that had like decorated the whole basement floor, and they had DJ decks. And then you compare that with my signature style, and I was just like, I can't see how these worlds are colliding. But it was more his wife that had very different styles. She wanted me, but he wanted me to be able to somehow magically merge our style with all these other influences. So that's the one that stands out the most. And there was a whole other background of stories there, but we get to see some really interesting things. I would love to write a book about it.
Could you not just sort of change the names, change the countries?
I have a pile of NDAs as high as my, you know, as high as my eye. So I would probably do that if I was like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
But no, I tell my husband all these things that happen, but then apart from that, I have to keep it to myself.
You must have some serious laughs.
Yeah. It's fascinating. You know, I wouldn't say this to my clients, hopefully none of them are listening, but if I wasn't paid to do this job, I would probably pay to do it, because I'm naturally quite a sort of I don't want to say nosy, but I'm interested. I like observing people. So the fact that I get to go to people's homes all over the world, I get to see how different people live. You get a real insight into really interesting people's lives.
Yeah.
I love that aspect of it.
So how did you merge the graffiti culture with Sophie Paterson, beautiful, timeless,
Do you know what? That's a
luxurious
very good question.
interiors?
And I pondered on that for about a week. And in the end, you know, if I don't feel like I can do something that people will be happy with, and I just didn't see how I could make both of them happy, I'd rather not do it. So I very politely declined that project. You know, I'm very selective about what I take on. I only take on about 6 to 8 projects a year, and we're inundated with inquiries. So if the fit's not quite right, I've learned over the years, you know, listen to my gut and don't do it, because we're working with these people for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's a long time.
It's intensely personal, isn't it?
Very personal. And I feel like you've got to understand the brief, you've got to be able to deliver, but you've also got to click. And I think that's a mutual thing. You know, if they like you, you're probably going to like them, and then vice versa. So
because are you taking people out of their comfort zone ever with, you know, when you say they come and they might have dozens of your mood boards on their mood board, and I would imagine that you might have to try to take them out of their comfort zone a little bit to
absolutely
just take it to the next.
Yeah, and I think that's how our job as an interior designer. If you just give them what they think they want, they're not getting the full value from you. You know, they might be looking at a project that I've designed 5, 10 years ago that they like, whereas I want to design something that's going to look good for the next 15 to 20 years that's right for their home. So we do in a very sort of diplomatic, gentle way, sort of guide them away from certain things that we don't think will work. But ultimately, I would say to them, if this is what you're adamant you want, I'll tell you the reasons why I don't think we should do it. I'll show you some alternatives of what I think we should do, but the decision lies with them. And I think normally when you kind of put the ball back in their park, they're like, okay, we've hired you for a reason. We'll go with your advice.
How do you feel the interior space has changed since you started?
Hugely. I think it's a lot more diverse. It's a lot more open. I think there's still a lot more work to do. I remember when I first started 18 years ago, I couldn't get a job. I couldn't even get an internship. That's why I set my own company. And I think there was so many barriers to entry, and I think social media has had a huge part to play in that. You know, the world is a lot more accessible. Clients are a lot more educated. They understand suppliers, understand where things come from. I think interior design has really become much more accessible in some ways. But I think there's still a lot of people that guard those secrets very carefully. I think we like to think that we're opening up, but I think people don't want to share information. They feel like their value as a designer is held in those trade secrets or those secret suppliers. Whereas I'm quite an open person. I feel like if someone wants to use my services, it's not because of my list of suppliers. It's because of the touch that we bring. It's the process. It's the customer service we give them.
Yeah.
And the end result as well.
Yeah, which is incredibly generous, actually, because I know what you are referring to. And yes, I've seen that through the decades, let's put it that way. So much so that you're starting an academy.
I am.
Tell me about that.
Oh my goodness. I started this process 14 months ago and I did not know what I was letting myself in for. It has taken over my world to the extent that I travel everywhere, including here, with my laptop, because I'm currently reviewing. I think we're 3/4 of the way through, but there was 100 hours of footage. So I recorded, I think we did 40 video shoots, 40 photo shoots, and now we're compiling everything together into 8 modules. And so there's 100 hours of footage that we've had to narrow down to about 10 to 12 hours. And, you know, I'm a perfectionist, so I've put myself under so much pressure. I want this to be the go-to course. I want people to be able to watch this and feel empowered, that they've got the knowledge of how to design their projects, how to become an interior designer. But I think there's a real gap in the market of, we hire a lot of graduates from design schools, and time again with them, and also like my audience on social media, I see that there's a real gap between what they're taught in terms of theory at school or university, and then that on-site knowledge that you need. You know, the just small practical things like the gap you need between chairs and tables, and really simple mistakes, but I see them made time and time again. So yeah. I've got the whole process, everything from like how we take our briefing stage, how we do our mood boards, how we do space planning, joinery design. We're sharing joinery designs and drawings that people can have. Even our list of suppliers we've put in the back. Not the extensive, but like my main go-to ones that I feel like I stand behind these and you'll be safe with these suppliers. But also those common mistakes that I see all the time.
Yeah.
So I want you to be able to do this and you feel like, okay, I know where to start. I know how overwhelming it can be. I still remember being that sort of 23-year-old starting, being like, I've won this project, but I actually don't know where to start with that. And I think it's all about having the logical process. So we've put that in place and hopefully given them all the information they need so they can
And
go
so
off and do
will
it.
that be, you're seeing the customer for this as graduates as well as people who just want to be able to design their own home?
Yeah, real mix. So it's been interesting. We opened up our waiting list about 3-4 months ago. And I go through it constantly because I'm just interested to see who signed up. You know, I've seen members of Middle Eastern royalty sign up. I've seen other interior designers sign up. I've seen a huge amount of students sign up. And I've kind of designed it with that in mind. That's what I thought would happen, knowing my audience very well. I thought there would be homeowners that don't want to or can't afford to hire an interior designer that would sign up. But also I knew from having recruited lots of young designers that there's lots of people that want to further their knowledge, kind of still lack that confidence even though they've got the qualifications. So yeah, there's a real mix. I've pre-recorded all the video modules, and then alongside the module, which is all self-paced and you'll have access to that for life, we've done workbooks. And I think I wrote the script myself, and I think there's like 120,000 words that we've then broken into individual modules. And the workbook...
I'm writing a book and I've only been asked for 50,000
Really?
words. That is unbelievable. 120,000 words.
Yeah, it's been...
Hats off.
I wake up with my laptop. I go to bed with my laptop because I have to personally review everything.
Of course.
Hopefully it'll be worth it.
Of course. You sound like a total perfectionist.
I am.
Can I ask you what star sign you are?
What do you think I would be?
Well, I would put you as a Virgo because...
Oh, interesting.
Because we're perfectionists.
Yeah.
But I'm a Virgo. So
I'm a Libra.
Ah, okay. But then...
And I think the thing with Librans is we love luxury. We also seek balance. So I'm feeling like I'm really looking forward to having a break after this launches because it's been like my lifelong work putting into it. I've really put my soul, my heart into this.
I might even have to have a little shufti at that. This season's podcast is sponsored by one of my favourite supplements, Gold Collagen. I've always believed that style isn't just about what we wear. It's about how we feel and how we hold ourselves. And for me, feeling confident really starts with how I look after myself. If we feel good, we look good. That's why I wanted to share a brilliant addition to my daily routine. I've been taking Gold Collagen Forte Ageless for 6 months now, and it's become such an effortless part of my daily routine. I love the simplicity of all my supplements being packed into a little glass bottle that I can slip into my bag and sip at my convenience during the day. And it's truly delicious. I see it as a treat to self. It's packed with 12 grams of hydrolyzed marine collagen and also contains elastin, ceramides, pro-retinol and lots of other ingredients that your body will thank you for. They all work together as a general wellness supplement to support my skin, hair, nails, from the inside out, as well as my joints and overall energy levels during the day. I noticed a difference within a matter of weeks. For me, great style starts from within. If we feel great, that inner confidence truly shines through. Enjoy 20% off the full Gold Collagen range at goldcollagen.com with code Amanda20. Now, I just sort of doing my research because we've never met before, despite you wearing Wakeley, which I'm...
And I'm a huge avid fan.
It seems to me you're very open and honest about creative self-doubt. And by the way, self-doubt and creativity should go hand in hand, in my humble opinion. But you've clearly built up a lovely, warm community. Are you very hands-on with your social channels?
Very hands-on. So I didn't have any help until... I've got Bella standing over there, but I think they joined me about a month ago. So I did literally everything.
You're joking.
Yeah.
You did everything.
Everything.
All the YouTube.
So obviously I didn't edit it and film it, but I came up with the concepts. I write all the captions. Yeah, everything. I respond to the comments. I read all the DMs.
Wow.
I think it's such an important part of the business, though, for any business. Doesn't matter
do too.
whether you're creative. Or...
I totally agree with you because it's that word authenticity, isn't it? Which is sort of been massively overused. But I do think people really know what's authentic and what's not.
100%. And even now I've got Megan and Bella that are helping me. I check I write a lot of the captions, I check every single thing. I'm a control freak as well as a perfectionist, but it matters to me. I think that's my voice and that's my access to my audience. And not only do I care about what I'm putting out, but I also really care about what the response is. What are people wanting? What are they interested in? And that's really helped me with my business.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? Having that dialogue really with your community.
Most valuable thing you could have.
Yeah. It's free market research, really,
100%.
Now, as well as your flourishing interior design business, I noticed you were doing a host of collaborations, which is very exciting.
Really exciting. It's a completely different way of designing.
Yeah. I mean, are there any what would be your dream collab that you haven't done? Do you have one that's sort of on a vision board that, God, I'd really love to do that?
I think the way I've been doing it is I've been going through it quite systematically. So my end goal is I want you to be able to buy a Sophie Paterson anything for your home. So we've already done home accessories with Addison Ross. We've done wallpaper with Fremantle and Andrew Martin, fabrics, cushions, handles, mirrors, furniture. So I think next is lighting and rugs. I think they're quite an important area for us. So I'm kind of working at the moment. I've got a short list of the suppliers that I think would be the right brand partners, and that will be a goal for 2026.
How lovely. And rugs, would rugs be hand knotted in Nepal? What's your...
Yeah, that's a really good question, because there's two kind of routes that you can go down. Obviously, on our projects, we use all the hand knotted, the most like high-end luxurious projects demand that kind of rug. But then also, on the other hand, I can see how commercially successful our range is with Addison Ross are, because they are slightly more accessible. So I'm just debating at the moment, like, which route do I want to go down? I want the best quality, the best standards, but I want to bring it in at an accessible price. So that's kind of where my decision-making process is right now.
Very, very exciting. Where are you at on sustainability with interiors?
Yeah, this is a big question.
Do you ever upcycle?
100%. Yeah, I think it's something that's becoming, like, a lot of us paid lip service to it for a long time. We kind of thought we'd get away with that. Whereas now, I think as a mother as well, like, I really want to be able to look at my children and not have them question me on how sustainable my work is. So something that we naturally do is we use a lot of antiques. We might upcycle them, repurpose them. I remember one of the best projects we did was we had this project, actually it was the one where he only wanted antiques. We had to create some cabinets to hide their air conditioning units. So we took a chest of drawers, an antique chest of drawers, not priceless, very sort of affordable one that we found online. We took the outside, the back of it out, all the inside out. We put some slots on the top, and then that covers the air conditioning unit, but it looks like a beautiful antique chest of drawers. So I think it's all about kind of repurposing, rethinking, and I kind of take the same approach with interiors as I take with my wardrobe, is that we buy slowly, we really consider everything. If there's a client that isn't 100% in love with something, we're not scared to say to them, what, let's leave that as a gap. Don't have to fill the whole house now. If you want to come back to us in a year, or you want to find like the perfect piece of art or the perfect antique, we'll build that with you over time. Because I think if you buy what you love, you're going to keep it forever.
Love that. So today we're going on a style journey. I know what you're wearing today, but maybe you could describe it.
So this is, Amanda, one of my favorite outfits, and I wear this a huge amount. I wore this a lot in the Middle East when I was doing some project tours of some projects that I'd done there. What I love about it is it's supremely comfortable. I don't even know what this fabric is. What is this fabric?
It's a jersey.
A jersey.
But it was a very compact jersey.
It hangs beautifully. It kind of holds you tight in all the right places, and it's a pencil skirt with this kind of loose top. What would you call this silhouette?
It's just an oversized sort of sweat type, but it's a riff on a sweat, but it's got more of a Balenciaga, classic Balenciaga sleeve on it.
Yeah. For me, it's quite a sort of 1940s, 1960s silhouette, and I feel like it's so flattering on the body. Obviously, it's yours, it's been designed by a woman, but I think you understand what women want. And this, I absolutely love it, but it's so comfortable. You can wear it in any climate. I've worn it in the Middle East, but then equally I'm wearing it today on a rainy day in London. So
Brilliant. And you've teamed it with...
these are some Gianvito Rossi shoes. I almost exclusively only wear Gianvito Rossi. I find them so comfortable. So comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think also being a mother now, you know, I think back to when I was a little girl at school, I used to wear really high heels every day, walking miles to all my different classes. I remember my mum saying, you can't wear heels that high, you'll get backache. And of course you don't when you're 17, 18. Whereas now I wear a pair of heels from the taxi to the table at the restaurant and I'm suffering with backache and hip ache and everything the next day. But on the whole, I find their shoes, Gianvito Rossi, they're really comfortable.
Talking about 16, 17, were you at school at the time?
I was at school, yeah, when I was 16, 17.
But not wearing a uniform?
No, I did have a uniform. I went to Southern Oaks School in Kent, and luckily by the time you're 17 you transition, but I started off in this hideous kilt, and they have a rule that you're not allowed it above your knee. You have to wear flat shoes. You're wearing this big boxy blazer. I had a green and blue tie. And I didn't care about fashion back then. I was a real sort of nerd living in the library. So I was quite happy. But I remember my sister was also at the school at the same time, and she was a cool girl in the upper sixth, and I would go and see her. And before I was allowed to hang out with her and her friends, she'd roll my skirt up, take my blazer off, try and sort my hair out. But no, I didn't care about fashion back then.
I love that. I mean, you have 5 sisters.
5, yeah.
Was there any sort of... sharing of clothes as kids, as teenagers?
I mean, definitely stole a lot of my older sister's clothes and tried hiding them. We probably had our worst fights about clothes. And I remember there was one particular Lacoste jumper that our auntie had given us. And we still laugh about it now, all these decades later, but we ping-ponged that Lacoste jumper. I would steal it. Neither of us was brave enough to actually wear it, because then the other one would know that we'd stolen it. But I would steal it, hide it at the bottom of my wardrobe, then she'd find it, steal it in her drawer.
And what did it look like? It
was a grey V-neck. I mean, absolutely tiny, probably like a size 0 V-neck jumper. But Lacoste to us was like the holy grail of like, this is designer. We both really wanted it.
And did you wear it much, or you just
when she left? Yeah, when she left, I was very like smug, and I was like, yes, I won it. And then I wore it for quite a few years. But no, we would share clothes as well. We had quite similar style, but yeah, there was a lot of fights as well.
And did you recommend each other's sort of looks, or?
No, interestingly, I'd say we all have very different style. Like my oldest sister, she's vegetarian. She doesn't wear leather. My next sister, she's a mum, and she has very different style. She loves colour and pattern. I'm obviously all into my neutrals. My next sister after that, Charlotte, she's very into fashion. She studied fashion. You know, she's always wearing those really out there things. And I'm a bit like, oh, I'm not sure about what she's wearing. And then 2 years later, I'm like, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
I'm on that bandwagon. After that, I've got another sister. She lives in Australia, so she's got a very sort of casual, laid-back style that works with that whole climate.
Yep.
And then my younger sister is 16, so she's going through that whole sort of, you know, rebellious stage when you're a teenager and you don't want to wear what older siblings are telling you to wear.
Yeah, love it. What did you wear to get married to Kevin?
I was a very young bride. I was 24. 24. Which at the time I felt really grown up, but looking back, I was a child. I wore Jenny Packham. You know, I was only 24, so I wanted to wear something quite slinky. I didn't want to wear like a dress that was wearing me.
Yeah.
It was really heavily embellished with lots of diamante. I remember it had a scoop back that went down to a V. And it was all just secured with this tiny little silk string, which, you know, I think back to that now, like my daughter loves to try on the dress. And I think, God, if one of those little strands went, that would have been an absolute disaster on the day. But I felt comfortable. I felt beautiful. Again, I think she just knows how to dress women, and it was all cut in the bias, so it just hung beautifully. I loved it.
Did you ever wear it again?
I never tried it on at all until, don't ask me why, when I was 4 or 5 months pregnant with my daughter, my first child, I decided that I wanted to try this on. And I was always very flat-chested until I had kids. So I put this dress on, and I actually took a picture of it and sent it to my mum and my mother-in-law, because what was a very sort of stylish, beautiful bohemian dress, suddenly with this big bump and these boobs that appeared, looked like something out of a stripper show. With all the diamante, it completely changed the whole look. So
was it plunging?
It was plunging, but if you don't have cleavage, it looks so
it's a very
sophisticated.
different thing. Yeah.
So no, I haven't actually. That horrified me. I put it back in the wardrobe. Never tried it. But my daughter, when she was about 3, she wants to try it on. So I've got a really cute picture of her in my dress, and it's all pooling on the floor, and she's got my veil on her as well.
Oh, how gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love those
Happy
sort of
memories.
kids dressing up.
Love
And
it. Yeah.
did she have heels on too?
Yeah, she does love to steal my heels. So I think under there, under all that silk, there was some high heels as well.
Have you ever been a bridesmaid?
I have, yeah. I've been a bridesmaid, not until I was an adult. I think about 6 years ago for one of my best friends from uni. And she had a great approach that she let us all pick our own dresses, but we had to be in the similar colour palette, which I think was such a good idea because we're all different shapes and sizes.
It's a minefield, isn't it? And what did you end up wearing?
I wore needle and thread. It was a bluey colour, little cap sleeves, again, heavily embellished. I loved it. And then all the other girls, and it actually looked beautiful walking down the aisle as well, that we all had like similar hues, but not exactly the same colour. Great idea.
Yeah.
If I was to go back thinking about all the drama that surrounded my bridesmaid outfits, I would have taken that approach.
Now, you live in Surrey.
I do.
Did your style change at all when you moved out to the burbs?
No, because, I'm back and forth into London 3-4 times a week. And it's not like proper countryside. It's not like I live on a farm, I've got wellies. No, I wear exactly the same thing. I'll get a little bit more elevated for London. I'll wear heels. But truthfully, like, unless I'm going on a photo shoot or coming to see someone fabulous like you, I am just wearing trainers and I dress for comfort these days. I think I like wearing elevated, like I love like a nice cashmere jumper and like a nice crisp shirt. But if I'm not comfortable, I don't feel stylish.
And when you go and visit clients, do you ever try to sort of adapt your look to the type of client they are?
100%. And I think about this subconsciously, but also consciously. So say if we're doing a presentation for a client and we've got all the fabric boards out, I will pick the colour that I think is probably most controversial, that they're least likely to want to go ahead with. Say if it's like a burgundy colour, and I'll wear that colour myself because I think it kind of intrinsically seeps through and makes them feel a bit more at ease with that colour. And when I'm filming for YouTube's, like if we're doing a project tour of a property we finished somewhere, I'll dress to match each room's interiors because I want my outfit, I want to almost disappear into the background and I want all the focus to be on the interior. And then if I'm meeting a client for the first time, I go very understated. I feel like the star of the show is the client. Even though it doesn't matter how successful you become as an interior designer, it's still customer service. You don't want to be stealing their thunder. So I won't wear like a Birkin or a Kelly. I'll wear like a sort of more understated bag, understated jewellery, and then they kind of lead the way with their style.
And show you their Birkin collection.
Yeah. Oh, they've all got amazing Birkin collections.
You have quite a big Middle Eastern client base, I believe. Do you find yourself dressing sort of more modestly around them? I mean, I've from what I can see of you, you're not an immodest dresser anyhow.
I think it's something that I've always done. I remember even when I met my husband, I was 19 in a nightclub. I was wearing a satin below the knee skirt and everyone else around me was wearing belts. So I think it's just, that's, again, it comes back to comfort. I don't like to feel like I'm tugging my skirt down. I don't want to feel uncomfortable in what I'm wearing. So I've always kind of dressed quite modestly, naturally. And then if I'm going somewhere in the Middle East, like if we were filming a project, I like to wear local designers. So when I was filming our project tour in Oman, I contacted 3 or 4 different designers in Oman because I wanted to showcase their work to our audience, and I thought that was a really nice way to do that. And actually I feel really comfortable in like kaftans. Like it works so well with their climate. I remember going to the Grand Mosque and I'd bought this kaftan and it looked like a lot of fabric, but actually when you're wearing it, like the breeze, it just feels so easy breezy and comfortable and you're not tight.
Yeah,
I love them.
I'm absolutely on the same page as you on that one. I've just been in Marrakesh and just being in kaftans is heaven.
It's lovely. But actually I think it's changed so much as well. I've worked in the Middle East for a long time now, but I think until a few years ago you did have to dress quite modestly, whereas now I think actually it's so multicultural people, anything kind of goes. You want to be respectful in the same way that I would want to wear respectful clothes in the UK. But I don't think we have to wear kaftans. I think it's just a nice opportunity.
Absolutely. It just feels lovely.
It does.
When you're doing a project like the one you mentioned in Oman and you're using you want to wear some local fashion, do you get the opportunity to work with local craftsmen in terms of the project too?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think, again, that comes down to the sustainability. When we first started doing international projects, there was this real sort of decision where we're like, are we going to use the suppliers that we know, that we've tested, that we trust? Or each time we get a new international project, are we going to have to try new suppliers? So we do a hybrid, with the furniture. I think a lot of our clients want specific pieces. They might want a beautiful char green cabinet that comes from Paris, but then with all the joinery, all the large pieces of custom furniture, we'll work with a supplier in that country. And that does take a bit more work. You've got to do some testing. I would say it's a lot more intensive because you really have to do that quality control. You have to make sure that you've given them the drawings, but then you almost have to check that they're following the drawings. But to fly a joinery team, to fly all those materials out there, it would first cost an absolute arm and a leg, and secondly just such a waste in terms of fuel and all that extra material.
When you're designing, do you have a bit of a design uniform,
as in what I wear?
I
think I have a uniform just for life. Like I wear what feels comfortable. So if I'm just with my team, I might be wearing jeans or a shirt or some nice tailored trousers. I wear a lot of Chanel ballet flats, a lot of Adidas trainers. I kind of, it changes, but always kind of block colors, not a lot of pattern. We have this running joke in our team that everyone thinks that I do have a uniform because quite often we'll all turn up whether we're wearing brown or cream or tan. I don't know why, but we just end up wearing the same colour palette quite often.
Yeah, I used to find that. And there's something really lovely because it sort of means you're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Do you have a style icon?
I have several. So I have in my camera on my phone, I have like a whole photo album of women that I think are chic, and I'm constantly like screenshotting and adding it into there for inspiration. I think one of my main sort of inspirations would be Corinne Roitfield. I love that silhouette where she wears the pencil skirt and the shirt that's quite unbuttoned.
Yeah.
She's got perfect blow dry, chunky gold jewellery, a fabulous tan. I think she looks amazing. If I could nail that style, I'd be very happy. I also love people that can not just dress well for sort of events, but also every day. So I think people like Gwyneth Paltrow, Tory Burch, Erin Lauder, I don't know what it is. You try and recreate their outfits, but they look chic no matter what they're wearing. It's just that little touch.
An Uber stylist
Uber
has been
stylist.
working with
Where's
them.
my Uber stylist?
When do you feel you really discovered your style DNA?
I feel like everyone has an age that they were born to sort of shine in. And I think my age that I was always destined to feel my best in was my 40s. Because even when I was a teenager, I said I went to a nightclub and I was wearing a skirt below the knee. I always wanted to dress with a sophisticated style. I kind of understood what suited me, my silhouette, very, very young. So I've got clothes from 20 years ago that I still wear now. So I think it evolved, but I'd say like my early 20s, I really was like, this is what suits me. And I've kind of stuck to it ever since.
That's very young, actually, but amazing.
Yeah, I was dressing very old for my age.
Do you feel that you have a cooler twist on it now than when you were wearing that look?
I think so, because I think I was so young when I set up my business. I remember I even used to put on some reading glasses that I didn't need, by the way. When I was meeting clients, if I was talking to them about finances or like showing them the quote, I'd put my glasses on to try and look more serious. And I think, I was young getting married. I was young to be a wife, to have a business. So I think I wanted to look older. Whereas now I'm wearing the same clothes, but I might wear it with like a chunky gold bracelet or layer up more necklaces or, my mother-in-law actually has great style, and she always says to me, don't go smart on everything. Don't go smart top and bottom. If you're going to wear a diamond necklace, wear it with a t-shirt, or you're going to wear jeans, wear them with heels. So that's always in the back of my mind that like you do that high-low thing.
Yeah, no, I love that advice. How would you want your husband to describe your style DNA in 3 words?
That's a really good question, because My husband's got great style, and I love it when he likes my outfits, but I don't dress for him. I dress for myself.
Yeah.
I think I
Or
would
how
want.
would you describe your own style
Yeah, I
DNA?
think anyone, whether it was my husband or anyone, I would like to think that I dress quite classically. I aspire to be chic, and I think comfortable as well. I think, not many people equate comfort with style, but if I'm not able to walk in the shoes or I'm tugging at my outfit, I don't feel chic. So
Yeah.
I think those three things.
Yeah, it's very true. We talk about bags.
Of course, I love a bag.
All-time favourite?
They change. So I'm a slow buyer when it comes to bags because I've got a big collection. So if you're going to join my collection, I've got to really, really want you. My strategy for when I go shopping to buy a new bag is I generally go with someone I know, and I'll make them wear the bag before I buy it. And if I'm just like, oh, that's a nice bag, I won't buy it. If I'm like, I want to tear that bag off her arm, I need to have that bag, then I buy it. So the latest one that I bought is a Bottega Veneta. It's the one I've got today. I like a bag that you can wear in multiple ways. So I like the fact that it has an adjustable strap. For years and years, I wanted a Birkin and a Kelly, and I kind of got that out of my system. But
What colour?
I have a tan Togo Kelly, and I have a kind of grey Birkin. And actually, I use the Kelly a lot more than the Birkin. But actually, I don't really wear either of them much anymore because I don't feel safe wearing them in London, truth be told. My husband got mugged, not in London, in Marbella, but it was during the day. It was at 10 a.m. We had my daughter and my son with us at the time, and it wasn't even that bad. We didn't get beaten up or anything. They literally he was pushing my daughter's pram, I was pushing my son's pram, and the guy was trying to shake the watch off his wrist, and all I could see was my daughter's pram being shook, so I thought he was trying to abduct our daughter.
Oh.
And I just went into like feral. Every swear word came out of me. I just went into full-on attack mode. And so when I realised he was just trying to steal the watch, I like collapsed with like relief. And I remember my husband was going to run after him. I was like, just let it go. Like, we'll claim on insurance. It's not worth it. But that's really stuck with me. So now I see all the headlines. I like hear a lot of my clients get mugged.
Yeah.
I just think, you know what, it's not worth it. And it's a shame. Like, we have these beautiful things and I'm like, what's the point in having them? But I'll wear them in the countryside. I'll wear them in Palm Beach. I won't wear them in London.
But does that stop you from buying very obvious designer pieces that, like a Chanel or an Hermes, Birkin or Kelly?
It has. Probably a good thing. I should be grateful. It's like slowed down my shopping.
But when you're bag shopping, you haven't pre-shopped online and thought, I need that.
Yeah. I do my research. Like, I would have seen it on Pinterest. I Google lots of images. I want to see like that bag with different outfits. So I probably think about it for a good couple of months before I buy a bag. But I buy less, and I actually don't buy watches anymore. I used to love collecting watches. I think I want to get rid of all my watches.
Because of the...
What's the point? They just sit in safes and you pay for them to be insured and you never actually wear them.
Yeah. You're in front of the camera a lot. Are you very aware of what you're wearing for being in front of the camera?
If it's if it's booked in and scheduled, yes, I think about it in advance. I plan my outfits. I'm very organised. Now I've got 2 social media managers. The content level, it's like, I mean, I know you've been to Sheerluxe as well, but it's like I have my own mini Sheerluxe going on in the office. The content, and I did say this to them. I was like, don't announce you're going to film. Just constantly film content. Like, you decide if something is interesting, you capture it. But now having to live with that, I'm like, oh no, like, I didn't do any hair or I didn't do any makeup. I don't like my outfit. But I think it's important to show that genuine, like, people can tell the difference between real behind the scenes and that fake rehearsed behind the scenes. So I'm kind of just having to live with that at the moment and get used to it. Yeah,
I think, but once you are used to it, it's incredibly liberating.
It is. And I've done YouTubes with no makeup. I had to advertise a mask, LED mask, and it was an amazing mask, but when they told me I had to advertise it with no makeup, I remember looking back at the footage and thinking, oh my goodness, I've got to put this out to my audience. But after you've done it, you're like, oh, who cares? No one cares.
Yeah. And it's got to be authentic.
It does. That's the main thing.
You can't wear your makeup for your LED mask.
No, you can't.
I mean, you probably didn't have to do the advert.
I didn't, but you know what? I'm very commercial minded, and I don't know how you make this work because I think there's so much work and effort and time that goes into our YouTube channel. And I'm just looking to cover our costs on that because I genuinely want to share knowledge.
Yeah.
But it's so expensive to create all this content. I think people don't understand how much you have to invest in that. You know, it's hundreds of thousands of pounds to have good quality content on a regular basis.
Yes, I think you're doing it on a whole other level to me doing it on an iPhone.
This is an impressive, well, this today is an impressive setup.
Yeah, it's not always like this.
Okay, well, I'm honoured.
It is for podcast though.
Thank you for the good lighting.
Oh, I know. We had a supermodel on who sent in someone to check the lighting beforehand, and they said, no, she's going to love this.
Yeah.
And so
that's
thanks,
attention
Leo.
to detail.
Would you say you dress for yourself, your husband, your audience?
I'd like to think myself. I think, of course, you know, I came to see you today. If I was just at home by myself, would I be wearing this? No. I think what you wear conveys a message. I think it's nice to kind of show respect to wherever you're going. If I'm going to a nice restaurant, I'm not going to wear, you know, just comfortable clothes. I used to dress probably more for my husband, but now I feel very sort of secure in what I'm wearing. I know that he loves the way I dress, so I don't need anyone's approval. I feel like if I like it, I don't care what other people think.
Do you shop with him?
No. I'm a lone shopper.
But has your style evolved since you got together with him?
No, because I met him when I was 19.
Oh my goodness.
In that nightclub wearing the bias cut knee-length skirt. Yes, it's evolved, and it's, you know, I've got more money now so I can afford to buy nicer quality clothes. But I think always the style that I aspired to was the same. I just couldn't quite reach what I wanted to implement. So, you know, I think now I can have the nice designer bags, I can have the nice designer shoes. But I think even when I didn't have the money to buy, and I don't buy all designer clothes, by the way, like I don't really care where it's from. I'll buy a Zara outfit. For me, I think being an interior designer, it's all about the fabric, the construction, how good the stitching is. That's what I really notice, how well will it wear. And sometimes I find myself buying items of clothing and I take it home and I put it on, I'm like, this looks awful. Why did I buy this? And I realise I love the fabric, but I loved it as an upholstery fabric for a chair, not as a top for me to wear.
Fascinating. Fascinating. Would you say being stylish is important to you?
Yeah, very. Yeah. I think it's important to everyone. Who doesn't want to be stylish? Even if other people don't think we're stylish, we want to feel good about the way we look.
What do you reach for when you want to feel empowered?
Chunky jewellery, like a power ring. I put this on, I feel like it's just, yeah, it makes me feel empowered. High heels, a blow dry. Can't feel good without a blow dry. And nails. I think it's the details rather than that, like the whole outfit. If the details are there, then I feel good about myself.
Yeah. Can we talk about hair, makeup, manicures?
Yes.
What's your approach to all of that?
Well, blow dries, I tend to have about 1 or 2 a week at home. I have someone that comes to my house, Gabby. She's amazing. She also really makes me laugh, so I really enjoy that sort of hour in the morning. Makeup, I tend to do it myself. If I've got like a photo shoot, I have a makeup artist called Alex or Amy. But I think where I've done so much shooting, especially in the last year for our academy, I just have had enough of it. Like as much as I like them, if I have a glam morning, I'm like, I can't wait to get these fake eyelashes off. I can't wait to just bung my hair up. So I'm kind of an all or nothing. Like I'll either look uber glam, or I look like, you know, one of my photographers jokes, we've worked together for 12 years. I'll often turn up on site, especially as we're doing the installation, our project's getting better and better. I look worse and worse. I look more and more scruffy. And he jokes, like, he's like, you look like the cleaner. And I'm like, I feel like the cleaner. Like, I'm very hands-on. I'm not scared to roll my sleeves up. You know, everyone thinks interior design is really glamorous, but you'll be there. And like, if I have to pick up a Hoover because there's some lint on the floor, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So I think I'm either all on or all off, but I'm happiest being scruffy.
Are you?
Yeah.
What's your view on tweakments?
I'm very open-minded to it. I think everyone should do what works for them. I've done Botox and I've not done it for 9 months now, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think seeing people like Kris Jenner and Lindsay Lohan and these amazing facelifts that are all over, I don't know if they're on your Instagram, but they're all over my Instagram. I think I'd rather hold off. Like, I don't feel that comfortable with filler. And when the time comes, yeah, I'll have a facelift. I don't care. Like, whatever makes you feel good about yourself. If it makes you feel great, go for it. Equally, if you don't want to do it, don't do it for anyone else. Only do it for yourself.
Yeah.
But I think having the choice is great. And
Yeah.
just, if you're going to do it, make sure you do your research.
Good advice. Now, you lead an incredibly busy and visible life. And your home, your studio is very much on your social channels, both that are phenomenally organized. What do you think is the secret to planning your wardrobe and your different looks?
Good question. Well, for holidays, I do plan everything. So I'll start packing 2 days before the holiday, which isn't that organized compared to some people, but I don't like to have all my stuff in a suitcase. I'll try everything on down to the shoes, the bag, I'll photograph it, and then I put it into a photo album. So when I go on holiday, I don't have to worry about what to wear. I don't overpack. I know exactly what's going to work. Day-to-day life, I'm not that organized. I don't have time to do it, but I think I just kind of have my go-to outfits that I know, okay, it's that kind of day, I'll wear this. And then if I buy something new, I tend to sort of wear it to death because I'm really excited about it.
Have you ever worked with a stylist?
I haven't worked with a stylist. I've had personal shoppers. Susie at Selfridges, she was amazing for a sort of special event. But I think, I don't spend a huge amount of money on clothes. Like, I'll have the designer bag and the designer shoes, but then most of my clothes are high-end high street, whether it's like M or is it Sefin, Samantha
Yes.
Cameron's? I really like her brand as well.
Do you think you've had a worst fashion moment?
I mean, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. There was definitely some bad moments there. A lot of bomber jackets, a lot of Benetton.
I love a bomber jacket.
Well, they're back now, aren't they? But I can't, all this 90s fashion, now it's coming back. I'm like, no, I've done it once. I'm not revisiting it. A lot of Benetton jumpers. Do you remember Benetton? That was like
Definitely.
the pinnacle for me. I grew up in Holland as well, which isn't the most stylish place in the world. Also I had a lot of hand-me-downs because I've got 2 older sisters. So even in the 90s, I was still wearing 80s throwbacks. I think there's a lot of bad outfits that I've kind of blocked from my memory.
No photographic evidence.
Probably in my mum's house, and it'll stay there. It's never coming to the light of day.
Let's talk about travel for a moment. Do you have a particular travel look?
Depends how I'm traveling and who I'm traveling with. If I'm traveling with my kids, it's just comfort all the way, athleisure. If I'm traveling for work, especially if I'm traveling with clients, then I'll get dressed up. It changes depending on my mood. I really dress for my mood.
And mode of transport.
Mode of transport, yeah.
I'm taking from that.
Yeah, if you're going on EasyJet, what's the point in dressing up? Likewise, if you're on a private jet, you don't want to be looking like a
You want the GM Vitos on and the Kelly.
Exactly. That's actually probably the only time I wear the Birkin is when I'm traveling first class or lucky enough to go on someone else's jet.
How lovely. What luggage do you use?
If it's short haul, I've got a Louis Vuitton sort of weekend bag that I've had for sort of 15 years. Otherwise, just cheap and cheerful, because I've got the idea that if you have really good suitcases, it's more likely to get stolen. So, it gets bashed about. I don't care.
Which brand would you say is your guilty secret?
Ooh. I don't have any guilty secrets about brands, but I would say, people often ask me where my outfit's from, and what they're surprised to hear mostly about recently is Marks and Spencer's, because I think they're having an amazing moment. Like the stuff that I'm seeing on their website, it goes so quickly. It's obviously doing incredibly well, but the fabrics are amazing. I bought this linen matching set, a top and skirt, so flattering, so easy to wear, beautifully made, and a great price point.
Yeah.
But I don't feel guilty about it. I love mixing high and low.
So if I were to say to you, okay, Sophie, you can only wear 2 brands now for the next year, one high street, one designer, who would you choose to wear?
This is a good question. I think for like high street, maybe M&M, because I think they have really good tailoring.
And you call that high street, do you?
High-end high street.
Yeah.
It's not designer. For designer, I don't have a lot of designer clothes, but I've got a lot of, my mother-in-law has an amazing wardrobe that she's slowly drip feeding down to me. And
Lucky girl.
I know, I'm so lucky. And I've got another sister-in-law, but she's not really into fashion. Praise the Lord. So it's all coming to me.
And you're the same size, clearly.
We're the same size. And I'm noticing that a lot of the clothes that I actually wear that she's handed me at Yves Saint Laurent, I find them so wearable.
You are so lucky.
Yes, very, very lucky. She's got a lot of Valentino, a lot of Dior as well. But those are the things, they're very sort of like special event, not things that you can wear every day. Whereas the Yves Saint Laurent, she's got this amazing pencil skirt. I love a pencil skirt. And it was the outfit she was wearing when I met her at her 50th birthday.
How lovely.
And I've never worn it, but I'm going to wear it. I've got a press event coming up at the Peninsula for our academy, and I'm going to wear it there. And I think it's so nice. Like, I love wearing vintage clothes, especially ones that has got a connection to me.
Yeah, no, that sounds absolutely lovely. Which would be your money no object brand?
I think Brunello Cucinelli. I think the fabrics, he's got such a wide array
That really
of different
is
products.
money no object.
That really is. I mean, like, if I have to pay for it myself, I might buy a pair of socks. But I've got a lot of clients that dress in Brunello Cucinelli, and you can instantly tell, and it wears so well. People that I see that have it, you'll say to them, like, I love your jumper. They've had it for 10 years and it still looks pristine.
It's
So
got that tiny little,
the little
beading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which a lot of people are copying, but I still feel like you can tell when it's proper Brunello Cucinelli.
Well, I think when you're very aware of what fabrics are really good and what aren't, then yeah,
there's no comparison.
There's no comparison. Okay, guilty secret. Most expensive item of clothing you've bought. I am not asking the price tag.
I mean, it's got to be a bag, probably my Birkin or my Kelly. I bought my first Kelly just as I had my son. So he's 5, nearly 6. And I bought it secondhand from Cellier. So it's even more expensive than buying it firsthand. And I can't even bring myself to think what the price was.
And did you buy it as a sort of marking time? I've had my son. This is my treat to me.
Maybe subconsciously, yeah. I think I bought it as like a, what is it you call it? Your husband often gets you a
push
present. I didn't push. I didn't push. I had them lifted out, but yeah, maybe a little push present to myself.
In terms of, we're talking jewellery. Do you buy your own jewellery?
A mix. My husband's bought me some beautiful things. He bought me this ring after I had my daughter. This diamond bracelets from my in-laws. They gave me that. Actually, no, this was after my son. This was after my daughter. This I bought myself. My Tiffany I bought myself. I like buying jewellery myself. I think I'm so specific. And my husband's kind of like, he's ticked all the classics, like the diamond studs. He's got me a beautiful engagement ring. But now I like buying cocktail rings and things that he probably wouldn't be brave enough to buy me. I want unusual pieces.
They're very specific.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you buy vintage ever?
I haven't. My sister goes to a lot of auctions, and every time I admire her jewellery, it's a vintage piece. But again, it's time. Like,
It's
I've
time,
got
isn't
really
it?
fat
Yeah.
fingers as well, so I can't just buy any ring. I have to go.
Fingers.
Honestly, I
Stop
do.
it.
A lot of my friends joke I've got Prince Charles or King Charles fingers. But I guess if you're going to have a fat part, it might as well be your fingers, right?
Honestly. Let's move on to your approach to sustainable fashion. How do you approach that?
I think it's like what I said earlier. Like, I buy slowly. I knew my style from a very early age, so I'm lucky that I've got clothes that are 10, 20 years old that I can still keep. I buy quite sort of plain tonal clothes. I think colour blocking. I feel like patterns can date an outfit in the same way that they can date an interior. So I'm very careful with what patterns I wear. And then, a lot of the stuff I keep, like now my daughter's, she's 8, she's getting into fashion. So I'm archiving all the special pieces of my mother-in-law. If I don't wear them, they're going into a wardrobe that's just for her. But even, items of mine that she loves, if she says to me she loves it, doesn't matter if it's Zara or whatever, it goes in that wardrobe and she keeps it. But aside from that, I give a lot of clothes away. I give a lot of clothes to like friends and family. And then if it's designer pieces, I've sold quite a few times with Cellier designer pieces, and then I give the proceeds to charity. So it kind of feels like it's a nice complete circle.
Nice. Do you ever give give your clothes to a charity shop?
Yeah, all the time. But I don't know if you find this in London, but our charity shops in our area are inundated, and quite often they'll say no more donations. So
I am going to come and do a trolley dash in Surrey, because I think the charity shops there must be fantastic.
I'm not sure about the quality, but there's a lot of quantity.
Yeah, you've given me an idea. Do you ever buy vintage?
I have done. I don't buy that often. It's more if I've got a specific idea in my mind and I can't find it. Like for that press event, I really wanted to wear a gold pencil skirt, so I ended up being on eBay. And I bought a few different skirts, but I've not had the best luck buying online. You know, I don't like the idea of if something comes and it arrives a bit smelly, it kind of puts me off. So not the best success.
And never bought from Vestiaire?
I think just accessories, not clothes. Yeah. Do you have good success buying vintage?
Oh, well, I've had one complete and utter disaster. It was quite funny. I bought I bought a pair of Jean Paul Gaultier printed mesh trousers, you know, and it was a couple of summers ago, heading to Ibiza, and I thought, oh, these will be really cool. And you know, Jean Paul Gaultier's got such a sense of humour, and the trousers had been photographed sort of flat, and I remember they arrived and I put them on and I thought, oh my God, he's had such a laugh with these, because the shape of the print, and they were all sort of pink and reds. They were red, but with a bit of pink on them. And I thought, just looks like a giant vagina in front of me. So those immediately went straight back on. So yes, you have to be careful.
Thank goodness you noticed if someone else did.
Let's spin on to some quickfire questions. What fashion advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Dress for yourself.
Fashion trend you'd most like to see make a comeback?
I think more tailoring, like more suits. I feel like we've kind of gone very, very casual. I'd like to see more glamour back in everyone's fashion.
Fashion or beauty trend that you would consign to room 101?
Brow lamination. I did it for a while. My eyebrows went really crusty.
Your last impulse buy?
I honestly don't buy impulse.
Views on tattoos?
Absolutely not. You're always going to regret it.
Beauty treatment you couldn't give up?
Facials. Desperately need one.
High end or high street?
High street for clothes, high end for accessories.
Bling or bear?
Bling.
Minimalism or maximalism?
Maximalism. I like too many things.
Couture or charity shop?
Couture.
Crocs, cute or puke?
Puke all the way. Unless they're on kids. My kids love a croc.
Sneakers or stilettos?
Sneakers during the day, stilettos when you want to feel empowered.
Bags or shoes?
Bags.
Boyfriends or wide legs?
Ooh. I don't even know what a boyfriend jean looks like. Is that the barrel jean?
No, it's the baggy one. It's as though you put your boyfriend's jeans on.
Wide legs.
Bodycon or boho?
Bodycon.
Sports luxe or rock chick?
Sports luxe.
Red carpet or relax?
Relax.
Trend or style?
Style.
Colour or monochrome?
Monochrome.
Cashmere or cotton?
Cashmere.
Experimental or uniform?
Uniform.
Beanie or beret?
Neither.
Hoarder or editor?
Editor.
Charity shop or resale?
A bit of both.
Shapewear or sexy lingerie?
Honestly, shapewear. Would love to say sexy lingerie.
Tights, stockings or hold-ups?
Tights.
Bikini or one piece?
Bikini.
And finally, my traditional last question at the end of the day, what do you or don't you wear in bed?
I wear cozy pajamas and socks, even in the summer.
Sophie, thank you so much.
It was such a pleasure.
Really enjoyed our conversation
Me too.
today.
It was so nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too. Thank you.